Cigarette smoke contains thousands of chemicals. Many of these chemicals in cigarette smoke are harmful. Therefore, smoking is very harmful to the lungs and airways. In addition to directly smoking a cigarette, second-hand smoke is also a risk factor, which is when you breathe in smoke from somebody else's cigarette. Breathing in cigarette smoke leads to smokers' lungs. Let's have a look at some of the health problems that smoking causes. Smoking is a major risk factor for lung disease and cancer. Lung disease includes things like asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, and different lung infections. Lung cancer is a type of disease where cells divide and grow uncontrollably, and this can happen in one lung or in both lungs. You don't need to know about any specific lung diseases except for lung cancer in your exams, but they could come up as the context of some exam questions. So what are the symptoms of lung disease? Lung diseases can cause coughing, shortness of breath, and heavy mucus. But why do lung diseases cause these symptoms? This diagram shows two different alveoli. The alveolus on the left is from a healthy lung, and this alveolus on the right is from a diseased lung. The healthy alveolus has a large surface area, however, the diseased one has a reduced surface area. In this diagram, it's clear to see that this reduced surface area is a result of these sacs not being as pronounced as they are in the healthy lung. As a result of this reduced surface area, less oxygen is able to get into the blood. Many people who have smoked for long periods of time have a reduced surface area in their lungs, and this is called emphysema. Because they're less able to get oxygen into their blood, they often find it harder to exercise. How do we know that smoking is linked to lung disease? The chemicals in cigarette smoke have been found to cause cancer in laboratory animals. On this graph, you can see that as the percentage of women smoking increases, so does the annual death rate from lung cancer. After around 1970, the percentage of women smoking decreases, and so does the annual death rate from lung cancer. This graph shows a correlation between the percentage of women smoking and the annual death rate from lung cancer. Further research is needed to show causation. Let's have a look now at some other health problems caused by smoking. Smoking is also a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Smoking damages the lining of the arteries, promoting the buildup of fatty material. The chemicals in smoke damage the lining of the arteries. Remember that this can occur in the coronary arteries that supply the heart, leading to coronary heart disease. Narrowed arteries can lead to a heart attack or even a stroke. So what do some of the chemicals in cigarettes do to your body? The carbon monoxide in cigarette smoke reduces the amount of oxygen that the blood can carry. So remember that it's the red blood cells that carry oxygen. In a non-smoker, this is what they would look like. Oxygen is able to bind to the red blood cells and be transported throughout the body. However, the red blood cells of a smoker would look something like this. Because carbon monoxide is sitting in the place of oxygen, less oxygen is able to be carried around the body. The nicotine in cigarette smoke increases the heart rate, which can put a strain on the heart. Do you know what happens if you smoke while pregnant? Smoking is also a risk for unborn babies. This image shows the healthy airways of a non-smoker. A woman who doesn't smoke would have a baby with a healthy birth weight. However, if the mother smokes, they can damage their lungs and therefore absorb less oxygen. If this happens, the unborn baby may also receive less oxygen, affecting its growth. This can cause a low birth mass, premature birth, and also a risk of miscarriage. For this reason, pregnant women are strongly advised not to smoke. You don't have to memorize the effects of smoking on unborn babies, but you should be able to interpret them from information given to you in exam questions. So how do we know that smoking affects unborn babies? Smoking in pregnant women is correlated with reduced birth mass. On this graph, cigarettes per day is plotted on the x-axis and baby birth weight in grams is plotted on the y-axis. You can see that the relationship between these two variables shows that as the cigarettes per day increases, baby birth weight decreases. Smoke contains carbon monoxide, which binds to red blood cells instead of oxygen, so they carry less oxygen to the baby. This is an example of causation, as more cigarettes leads to less oxygen carried to the baby, which in turn leads to less respiration, which causes less growth.
Thanks for watching. If you want to take your GCSE revision to the next level, head over to launchpadlearning.com and check out our smart learning platform that's been designed to get you top results in your exams. We cover your whole specification and make revision fun with interactive quizzes, easy to follow videos and more. You'll be kept motivated by your own AI tutor who's here to support you every step of the way. To check it out for yourself, click here. Or click here to keep watching a selection of the videos from our full GCSE Biology course. See you there!